In this video, we're going to take a look at the Captasoft user groups and permissions. Captasoft has a very granular set of permissions that can be applied to each user's. So I'm logged in as an administrator, so I have access to this section. So I'm going to go down to Tools, and then I'm going to click on Groups and Permissions. Here I can see I've got 3 groups that are set up. We have our default users group, we have the administrator group, and we have a subadmin group. So I'm going to create a new permission group, and I do that by going over here and clicking on Add Group. And for this group, we're going to set up a permission group for staff that is tasked with just managing my recruits. Their job is to help my recruits complete their training, pass the test, get fingerprinted. So they're in charge of monitoring the recruits and coaching them so they get through the process. So I'm going to name this Recruit Permission Group, and we'll leave the description blank for right now. So if I scroll down, I can see all the permissions that I can set up, and you notice these tabs are set up in the same way the application is set up. So here's the Workspace tab. So I can see by default there's a default group of permissions that is set up here. Everything to the left is the most permissive, and then to the right is the least permissive. So these users can create new records, yes, they can access records assigned to them, and they have modified permissions. So I can go through and modify all of these permissions here, and this will allow the users to see and not see particular information. If I click over here on the modules, you can see these are the 3 modules under the workspace. We have recruits, we have insurance cases, and annuities. Now this group, I don't want them to have access to any of the insurance cases or annuities. I just want them to focus on recruits and agents. So I'm going to click No for insurance and No for annuities. And what that's going to do is that's going to hide those sections from these users. So I click that, I hit Save to update that. If I go into the Tools section, I can set all of these over here to the right, so they have no permissions. They cannot import data, they cannot export data. And then lastly, in the Account section, I am going to let them manage their own profile, so they can change their password, they can change their avatar, but any of the other stuff in the organization info they don't have permissions to. So now I hit Done, and now I've got my recruit permission group. Next thing I do is I need to add people into that permission group, and that's how they get that permission set. So the way I do that is I go over here to Manage Users, and then I'm going to take Test User 2, and I'm going to go ahead and click on this user, and then for security I'm going to go ahead and then put them into my recruit permission group. And now the next time they log in, they'll have that permission set. So this is a very easy way you can set up your users and control what they can see and not see, what they can do and not do. It's a very powerful feature in Captasoft. So again, all that is controlled under the Tools section, where Groups and Permissions and Manage Users. Now I have access to this because I'm an administrator. Normal users will not be able to see these, or they'll get a "you do not have access" to this section error message. So I hope this has been helpful. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks.